Hi, and welcome to another Hopper on microcontrollers video. This one's about how to program in Hopper. If you're familiar with other curly brace and semicolon languages like C and C# and Java. So up to now, I've sort of thought, okay, I'll keyword the videos, and if you like search on something in the video like the keyword loop, you'll find enough information to help you with loops. But recently, I've been using Chat GPT, and specifically Copilot in Chat GPT 4, and been finding it kind of handy for writing code. And then I thought, well, how can I share this with you, right? And the way I can share it with you is that what I do is at the end of a session with Chat GPT, I ask it to write a document to its future self to teach it about Hopper. Since Hopper is not really that common in the public domain yet, there's not much information about it up there. But what Copilot learns, it can teach its future self. So there's a compact document on GitHub, which isn't the target audience of this document is not humans. It's actually GPT. So it's very compact. It's in Markdown, but you can. I'll put the link in the description. You can copy it to your clipboard. You go to your instance of Copilot, which doesn't have the same memory or context as mine, and you can do something like teach it. You can say, this should help you learn about the Hopper programming language. Please respond with the canonical Blink program for the Raspberry Pi Pico. And we'll paste in that document. It's quite big. Let's do that, and let's see how it does. I get mixed results with this. Yeah, that's not too terrible. It screwed something up, but we'll let it figure it out. Okay, so we copy that, we paste it into our Hopper IDE, and we try to compile it. And we get an error message saying error at const, okay? Error at const. Why? Right? In the Hopper programming language, constant declarations cannot be made inside methods or functions. They must be, what did it say there? They must be declared at the program or unit level. Here's the corrected version of the Blink program. So even when it screws up, if you just feed it back the error message, let's try it again, F7, compiling, optimizing, code generation. Let's bring up our little device, and we've got a light on there, but that's probably from my previous run. Okay, now F5 to get that in the debugger, and let's run it. And we have a blinky light. So, so yeah, not too long a stretch. It's not perfect, but it did. If you gave it the error message, it figured out what it did wrong, right? So let's get out of that in the debugger. Let's Control C and break out of that, and let's go back here. So that was the corrected version. Okay, let's carry on. Let's get rid of that. Can you make this more compact? Yeah, it's not that compact. I know this. How about using the LED property for the built-in? Yeah. You can keep going like that. So I mean, that's not a bad one. So that'll work. Let's see if it compiles. Pre-processing, compiling, optimizing, generating code. Yeah, so it worked. So you know, we've got a built-in, and we can right-click in Hopper to go to definition. So we right-click on that, and it'll show us how it works. It's really just using the pin mode and digital write. But it's also got a getter. Okay. So we can say, I see the LED property has a getter. Can you use that to make this even more compact. There we go. Now we're talking. And you can, you know, I can hint it with things that I know that it doesn't. So build that. Let's just make sure it still runs. We stalled in there because I broke out the debugger. That's why the light's sitting on. I stopped it in the debugger, and then we successfully loaded. The debugger is a green title bar here. F5, and we're running. Yeah. Let's add a little bit more. Can you output the time in milliseconds on each blink to the serial console? Let's try that. So you figure out how to write to the serial console. Is that? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of cheating. Yeah, well, let's do that anyway. Okay. It's a sneaky cheat. Oops, it went right out. Let's paste that in there, build it. Yeah, that didn't work so well. I wonder what went wrong. Good question. I think it might have to do with something I'm working on with minimal runtime. You know, but using a long type. Oh, I know what's wrong. Oh, I'll have to figure out what that was. So this is when the runtime fails. So it's failing here. Because it's using print. Shouldn't be using print. Yeah, okay. It can't know that. It can't know that. So I don't know why it's not by default using the serial console. But yeah, there's going to be some things that are going to be really tough where you're going to have to send me a screenshot instead of trying to use Chat GPT to figure it out. So, I mean, and I can continue to improve on the document so that it does get smarter. So there it's working now. So we see the output in the serial console here on the right. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it is pretty good. So let's give it another chance. Let's give it another chance to excel. Okay. Can you write me we'll give it something completely out of. I haven't done this in the training of it. I haven't given it this, but it should know how to write a Fibonacci program. And I haven't told it I want it in Hopper, but it's going to write it in Hopper because that's where we are. So it's using serial I/O. Is that going to be enough? Might not have the units there to do it, but that's okay. Well, we'll try this and see what error messages we come up with. So let's paste that in, try and build it. All these shortcut keys I'm using are on the menu. So it's going i.toString is not defined. Okay, so let's give that error message. i.toString is not defined. Yeah, that's pretty good. Figured it out. We're going to probably have some more after a while. It's going to go on and on with this. So yeah, it realized that it needed to, it was missing this user statement up here. So it regenerated with the user statement, but it's going to now be missing strings, for example. Error there. Yeah, okay. Let's see if it figures that one out. This one is because Hopper requires you to have curly braces even if you have a single statement block, right? So now it's going to be, we should give it the line number as well. Error on line 8, something expected. Okay. Error on line 8. Expected. See what it does with that. Yeah, it did. It figured out. So here it says, ensure that all control structures and blocks have matching curly braces. And that's a rule in Hopper to avoid certain obvious bugs. You can't have a single statement block without curly braces. So let's try that and see if it built. It's probably going to be missing strings now, but I'm going to short circuit that if it complains. No, it won. It got that. Oh, because it's unit 2 string, and that'll include, yeah, okay. So if we go, we can right click on things to go find them. So if we right click on that, we go to here, and it's using strings. But you probably find at the top of this, no, maybe not. I was wondering how it knows strings exist. Maybe it's from here. Screen, yeah, this is including a lot more. There's strings. Yeah, okay. All right, let's build that. We don't need this on the screen, do we? Let's launch the debugger. Why didn't that build? I didn't have my focus in there. Okay, F5. Why are we not launching here if we want to? You know, it's so much easier if it would include the MCU here. So again, it got rid of the serial because I didn't say serial. Yeah, okay. I didn't tell it that it got it wrong. So the easiest way to solve this is to, you know, please give us the using statements for the Pi Pico board. Because that reaches the, yeah, we've run out of time on the session, so this is going to have to be it. So let's try that. So what it was missing was this using statement, and once you use that using statement, you don't need any of the other stuff. So if you know that that's how you build for a Pico board, you don't have all this rubbish with not including the right stuff or not saying using a serial I/O and all that. So let's see if this all runs for us now. There you go, Fibonacci sequence. So yeah, not completely terrible. Not perfect, but you can imagine what this is going to be like in 6 months' time as it improves, and as we feed it more information about Hopper as well and improve on that document. It's going to be pretty good. And I think in reality, you're not going to ask it to write a whole program. You're going to get stuck, and then you'll be asking it specific questions, like we did with why am I getting a syntax error on this line, you know? And I've done things in the past like give it screenshots like of the part of the code instead of cutting and pasting the text, or I've given it screenshots of the serial output when I'm trying to debug something, and it can OCR the screenshot and figure out what's going on. It's really good for diagnostics. Anyway, if you haven't played with Chat GPT yet for code generation, it's got its limitations. It's not capable of original thought. But for the sort of boilerplate stuff that we're always getting stuck and hung up on because we just don't know what something's defined as, there's some obvious piece of definition we're missing because we don't have all the knowledge, it's pretty darn good. Anyway, have fun with your Hopper programming. I'll leave a link at the end of this to another video which shows you how to get Hopper up and running on a Windows machine so that you can get to the starting point of this video relatively quickly. Thanks for watching.